GM, we are live. This is the first ever edition of Best Ball by Candlelight, and I'm excited to be here. Disbanded Brotherhood, GM to you. All of a sudden, my headphones stopped working, so I can't hear anything. I don't even know if this is live or not, but you know what? We're gonna run a BBM. We're just gonna hop in this one, and we're gonna see what happens. So I normally stream at 8:30 in the morning, but right now it is 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're waiting for 10. Waiting for 10. I thought this late night crowd was chomping at the bit for best ball. What happened? What happened? I thought this was going to be snap filling. Well, we're waiting for 9. If anyone wants to come in, Disbanded Brotherhood though, GM, thank you so much for coming in. Lay the House RM. Now would be the great time for the 80s porn music. Well, I think I can make that happen. Lay the House. Give me one moment and we'll get that going here. All right, let's see. Make sure it's not deafeningly loud. And is it lo-fi? I don't know. You'll have to tell me. You'll have to tell me what the choice of music is. It's live and the audio visual is all good. Awesome. Well, I don't have my normal microphone stand, so it is literally on top of a candle holder with a table pulled up next to me. So we'll see what happens. We're waiting for 4 in this BBM here. Dirty P testing out the late night streets. Weeknights pretty slow. Yeah, I guess so. I'm normally well asleep by now, but you know what? We're trying something new and we're full. We're full, so hopefully if you got in here, you want to do, hey, Hartman, GM to you. Thanks so much. It's always a good morning. It's good morning somewhere. If people are up for another 45 minutes, it will officially be a GM. So we're here in the 8-hole. My second monitor right now is actually a television screen that's about 43 miles above my head. So if you see me looking up, it's not just for the almighty to give me some help on who to pick. I'm actually looking at my screen up there. Chad talking through the baby monitor tonight. I'm actually trying to not wake the baby, because if I wake the baby, there's a big red end stream button that I'm going to have to press, and I hope it doesn't come to that. But if it does, you'll know what happened. But no, we're not live on the baby monitor. So I guess yeah, I didn't get to stream yesterday, but I'm so glad I got to hop on this evening. I guess the big news today was Keenan Allen signed with the Chargers, something that we all kind of expected, but wasn't official. I don't really know what to make of that yet. I do have to think that it's a little bit bearish for Trey Harris. I feel like he's probably, in my mind, who's going to suffer the most. Remains to be seen. I think now this is your, if you're between QJ and Trey Harris, one of them I think is going to be diminished. It's $8.5 million for 1 year, so not a huge contract. It's definitely not something that says he's going to step in and eat everybody's lunch. So it could end up being, not as impactful as we think, just based on the money. But he was so effective last season that he's definitely draftable. He's definitely going to rise up. He's someone I want to mix in. But I do have a little bit of concern for the secondary pass catchers in Los Angeles. Hartman, Chad with the overhead RTA display. Yeah, I have the sidekick from above, just telling me who to pick. Oh man, Saquon Barkley at 6 is nice. I'm a little bit leery of Puka with the Stafford news, so I guess I'll take a Malik Neighbors share. Because anytime you're worried about Matt Stafford, you should take the guy who has Russell Wilson, Jameis, and Jackson Dart throwing to them. But I definitely, it definitely feels a little more than just like veteran rest with this back stuff. Now seeing multiple back specialists, I want to believe that they're just going to manage him and everything's going to be okay. But I have some concern. I have some concern with the Stafford stuff. So we'll see. And Jimmy G, as much as we all like Jimmy G, it's going to be a absolutely colossal drop off between Stafford, who we know can support, two elite tier receivers. He's done that before with Puka and Cup, and I don't know if he can support Adam. Um, that Drake London. I guess we could do a neighbors. We could do neighbors Henry. We could do neighbors Bowers. That's of course a week 17 situation, but I really do, I do like Derrick Henry. I don't want to be wildly under the field on him, so we will take that. Hartman says, I just pray Stafford isn't seeing the same back specialist as Watson. Well, yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes like the news we get on these things is not is not good. Is not good. I'll say that. I think back to the Charger doctors who brought us all Herbert when Tyrod Taylor, they punctured his lung. So like, who knows when Herbert would have actually, like, he definitely would have taken over, right? But it wouldn't have happened quite as fast. Like, so it really was like one just like colossal screw up kind of derailed one guy's career and helped just accelerate someone else's. It's just wild, which can happen sometimes with these things. Fanspeak Network, love to see Chad Candles in the late night streaks. Meg, hey Meg, thank you so much for hopping in. Hartman definitely, you should follow him out here in the YouTube content streets, and Fanspeak Network as well. Both of these outlets doing awesome stuff, and I really appreciate the support for a fledgling little late night show like this one. But yeah, hey, Fanspeak, Meg, thank you so much for coming in. All right, so we've got Henry and neighbors. I'll pull the board up so that we can all follow along. It looks like we had a little clump of robust RB people here with a Bijan Bucky start, as well as a Saquon Chase Brown drafter. Very interesting. Very kind of interesting board layout, how you had not as many people go running back receiver as you normally see. It seems like people kind of have chosen their path. So we'll see if that affects some of the downstream stuff of people who have taken early receiver and trying to catch up at running back and vice versa. We'll see if that does anything in this room. I meant to check. I don't think I recognize any names in here. T-Bear. I recognize T-Bear, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm familiar with them. A-Rod. Finally got to catch a Mr. Candle stream. Oh, hey, A-Rod. Awesome to see you in these streets. I normally don't try for the like ASMR whisper vibe, but my kid is definitely sleeping, and if I wake them up, it is all over. So I'm trying to keep it down a little bit. Is this a StreamYard track? Yes. This is called lo-fi. And I don't have my headphones in, so I can't actually hear what you're listening to, which is like a great way to choose music, like forcing other people to listen to something that you're not listening to yourself. And yes, I am sitting like cross-legged on a chair. This is the most awkward setup I could ever possibly imagine. But you know what? We're here in the late night streets. Things are just going to get a little weird. We see Lamar Jackson go at 28 over on the left side of the board. Josh Allen goes. We're now on the board. We are now on the clock. Oh, Devontae Adams, a little bit of a faller. JSN would be interesting. I guess if I'm going to say I'm a little nervous about the Rams pass catchers, I should do something about that. I'll take a JSN share here. I'm not like fully fading Adams and Puka, but I do see them as potentially small fallers in here. So we'll see what happens. Fanspeak Network, Scatterbo Hive needs to stick together during trying times of Tracy Hive victory lapping. Giants beat reporter opinions. Meg, that was just that guy's opinion. It wasn't anything any of the coaches said. He just said like, oh, I think this is it. And like I have Tracy people just like coming out of the woodworks, dunking. So we'll see. They'll check back in week 17 when Tracy's giga-benched for fumbling 3 times in a game. We'll see who's we'll see how it ends up. Hey, Terrence, you're in here. Okay, Terrence. Hey, Terrence, thanks so much for popping in. You're T-Bear81. All right. Well, I'm glad to be drafting with you. Thanks so much for hanging out in this evening. And let's see what's coming to us. Rashi Rice. If people want to read the tea leaves, Addison getting suspended for 3 games, which was at the upper limit of the sort of DUI suspensions that happen. Some people are hoping for 2. That does sort of suggest that, they're taking a little harder of a stance on things, and we could see a longer suspension for Rice than some people had hoped. Jalen Hurts, interesting. Xavier Worthy. I think I'll pick up a Worthy share in this room. Again, I do think when Rice's suspension's announced, we'll ultimately see a Worthy Rice flip, but we are so close to the season starting. I just don't know, when that will happen. I could be wrong on that, but I do think we'll actually get that. Fanspeak says exactly. Beat reporter versus coach speak will happily buy any scat dip, Meg. Yeah, I'm gonna keep buying the dip, and I could end up really regretting that choice, but I'm willing to make the bet. And hey, Steve Schaup, Meg's brother, another member of the Fanspeak Network. What's going on? Just doing a little late night streaming, Steve. So just happy to be able to log in and do this, even though it's a little, the production value is absolutely terrible. Hold on, I hope this doesn't make a terrible noise. This is actually a candle holder that my mic is resting on, because I don't have my boom mic with me, and I couldn't find the normal stand it comes on, so I'm making do with what I've got here, and just trying to keep the lights on here. Just trying to keep the lights on, or the candle lights, if you will. Recapping the team for any ASMR audio listeners, we've got Derrick Henry at running back, and then Malik Neighbors, JSN, and Xavier Worthy holding down the wide receiver room. All the elite quarterbacks have gone. Jaden Daniels went right before me at 40. I would have picked him up at 41 had he fallen there. My guy Jameson Williams, he goes at 46 here, so the days of him slipping into the 50s has passed. 58, though, should be fertile ground for another running back, with Devin Neal being injured and the quarterback situation in New Orleans being looking like Spencer Rattler really might be the week 1 starter. It makes me think they're really going to lean on Kamara, but Kamara might also face like 13 men in the box. So I'm kind of waffling on how I want to play the Saints a little bit. I certainly think a Rattler offense from last season looked bad. That said, Rattler, young guy, players can make improvements. It is possible that he won't be as terrible as last season, but we'll see. I think I kind of want to keep Kamara where he is, but it is sort of a developing situation in New Orleans, and I'm going to continue to draft their pass catchers at market, because if they do end up in negative game scripts, and again, they were such a good offense. I think they have a good scheme there. It just seems a question of whether they can actually execute over there. Though I will not pass on Hubbard, Ridley, or Travis Hunter in favor of Kamara. I think I'm okay passing on Flowers as a 4th receiver, although that would be building out. That would be building out a little bit of a bet on the Ravens. I'll take a Travis Hunter share. He is, of course, getting more buzz from the beat writers in Jacksonville than I really thought possible. So I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't risen. He was a guy people were taking in the 40s when it seemed like, I don't know what it seemed like, but he slipped into the 50s when it was clear he would be playing some defense. But with the latest comments of him playing 80%-ish of the offensive snaps, I do expect him to be a little bit of a riser. Yeah, Fanspeak, love the ASMR reference. I mean, I just need some crinkly paper, and we'll see what else we can come up with here. Steve laughing at Hartman Ray. Hey, good to catch up with you on stream once again, Chad. Hey, Ryan Ray, thanks so much for coming in today. Again, apologies to everyone for the low production value. I will, this week is going to be a little wonky with my schedule. I'm going to try to hop on at my normal time tomorrow, maybe even earlier. So it could be a short turnaround. It could be a short turnaround for me in these streets. I was going to say, if RJ Harvey went, I was going to be not very happy, because I like the idea of Caleb, but apparently some of his pass blocking stuff has been a little touch and go. Another Aaron Rodgers video came out where he looked about as mobile as a telephone pole, maybe. It was pretty grim. So I mean, he's going to need his running back out there being able to keep him upright. We know Jalen Warren can do that. Whether Caleb can do that kind of remains to be seen. So again, I don't love Caleb as my second running back. I'm more than happy to take him, but I didn't think this was the team for him. I like getting Hunter and Harvey together because both of these guys were going a lot earlier in earlier BBMs. So I think when you get this pairing, you're pairing them with a much better tier than people who had them, and we're taking both of these guys, in the third through, early fifth round or third and fourth round players. So I do like getting those two guys on the same team. Thinking ahead of who I want at receiver, a lot of backstacking options. If I Darnold, and then of course Mahomes and T-Law. I don't have as much Mahomes as I would like, so I'll certainly consider taking him here at 80. I just want to see, where's the Rice drafter? Where's Rashee Rice up here? Rashee Rice went. I'm looking at this giant monitor and I still can't see it. This is so embarrassing. This is a low moment in this stream. I cannot find Rashee Rice. Oh, he went over here. Okay, so I will be able to push him theoretically, but again, people do take an unstacked Mahomes. Hey Tim, 1387. Thanks so much for coming in this late evening stream. Was listening to Fans Speak and Who Games earlier. Great shows. 100% agree. Those are two of the best content providers out there. Steve asking how the Huskies are going. And Tim didn't know about Caleb Johnson. Good to know. Rogers looked like he was doing activities at a nursing home. Yeah, I don't want to FUD Caleb too bad because I think it was about a week ago that some of the past pro stuff came up, and then some more recent reports suggested that he had done better in some of the drills. But it is something that it wasn't like he came out immediately. It's not something he's known for, like as being like one of the better pass blockers. I don't believe. The Jags cornered that market with LaQuint Allen, who is apparently one of the best pass blocking rookies in the class, or the best. I don't know if that's also, I don't know how much Caleb had to pass block on the Hawkeyes, who I think threw the ball 6 times in the entire season. So we might be able to watch every single pass protection play because there's going to be about 4 of them. Looking at what's coming to us, we could potentially take Mahomes, Reed, Godwin, Myers, all good, good potential picks. Tony Pollard would be a nice third running back on the team. I think I'll do Pollard and then optimistically queue up Mahomes and see where we're at there. Because Harvey, we'll see if he gets brought up a little bit slowly or not. It's he's certainly going to be the most talented back there in Denver, but rookie running backs do sometimes, coaches can be a little hard-nosed and force them to, quote unquote, work their way in. So we'll see. I want to make sure I get, another veteran in there. I feel good with Henry, Harvey, and Pollard as my starting 3, and a wide receiver room of Neighbors, JSN, Worthy, and Hunter. Obviously, I would love Mahomes. Hawkinson could be a nice pick, but he is apparently working through some sort of groin injury. Doesn't sound like it's anything too serious, but don't necessarily need to lock that up. If we don't get Mahomes, I don't think any of the other quarterbacks in this range make sense, and we'll likely take like a Pittman. We could take Cooper Kupp and double up on the Seattle receivers there. So we have a few options. Of course, Khalil Shakir, he's going to fall. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain. So it'll be interesting to see where he finally settles, but I don't think people love taking Shakir, so I think any excuse to fade that could come in. Steve Schaup says, I'm smashing Caleb Johnson, just as the upside for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. I hope so. I somehow knew Slime Santa was going to take Mahomes. That name just sounded like a guy who would take an unstacked Mahomes. Anyway, so Slime Santa takes Mahomes from us. I think I'll queue up Pittman over Kupp. we'll spread this, spread this bet out a little bit. It does potentially open up if we want A-Rich as another late quarterback option. He's someone that I took early in BBM and kind of backed off and want to get back up on a little bit. So I'll pull the board up so people can see what's going on. This Slime stand-up fellow took Kean Coleman at 83, which is about 2 full rounds ahead of where Coleman used to go. I missed to see if that's the new price or if that's just somebody who is just very eager to get a piece of the Buffalo offense. But yeah, Steve, I'm definitely still taking a lot of Caleb. I think if I look at my exposures, let's see how much Caleb we have, because it's going to be a lot. It is going to be a alarming amount of Caleb. Yeah, so I'm basically twice the field of Caleb. So I am not trying to FUD my own bags too much, but it is one that I was very aggressively taking and kind of maybe want to be a little closer to 12 to 13% rather than like a full doubling of the field. But I certainly see the upside, and he does feel like the perfect Steeler running back. It does look like Caleb went to the Burrow drafter. So I'm sorry, not Caleb, Baker. So the Burrow drafter took him unstacked and then took Baker to stack with Bucky Irving. So we are officially in August, people. We are officially in August, and it is people are just doing stuff. So pushing QBs a little riskier than it used to be. Relying on players to come back, not the best bet. But then you'll randomly get like incredible values. Like, let's see, this guy took Fields and Nix. Are either of those stacked? All right, so Fields is a stack, but oddly enough, Bo Nix isn't. So just like, okay, I don't fully understand it, but hey, you know what? Maybe he saw the Sutton guy on the turn and caused a chain reaction there. So this guy did take Slam at 2, so maybe he could have gone Nick's Dak, but chose not to. Anyway, Tim says, that's awesome. The Rodgers video was hilarious. Father Time is undefeated. Yeah, the Rodgers video was a tough scene. It was definitely a tough scene there. All right, let's see. We're coming up to pick 104. Cooper Kupp is still on the board. I mean, I would absolutely take Cooper Kupp if he was there. I would take Mark Andrews. Andrews Henry would be a pretty nice little Baltimore tandem there. Dobbins would be kind of a weird pick if I have Harvey, but I mean, it's not like I don't hate that. I don't hate locking up most of a offense we're really excited about, but I think that's getting a little too clever. Etienne, I'm out on. Scatabo, of course, I love. I think I'm going to push Scatabo goes right before me. So let's take Mark Andrews here. With Isaiah Likely, with his foot surgery, I think we're going to get a ton of early season production out of Andrews. And of course, I don't think that's going to fall off late, but he's nice little bet. Getting a lot of that Baltimore offense, I don't think is going to be something that we're upset about late in the year. Let's start thinking about quarterback though, because it's going to be get a little dicey for us. We've got T-Law. T-Law is supposed to go at 130. We're going to be picking at 128. So let's pencil in T-Law here as our pick at 138. So we kind of mentally know what we're going to try to do. I don't think I want Evan Ingram there. Dobbins, Spears. I think it's... Man, really don't like Travis Etienne, but I'm ever going to have him, it would probably be on a team where I am expecting to take T-Law. If Etienne goes, yeah, everyone has a price, and I guess I found it for Etienne here. Just trying to build out this Jacksonville bet. It feels disgusting. This probably my first or second Etienne in BBM, but we'll do it here. We'll do it here because we have Hunter, and I think that he does track with this team that we're building. This team is certainly a candidate for something like a Bryce Young back stack. and then maybe Darnold or A-Rich. So we'll kind of plan that out. For the audio listeners, we've got 0451. We've got Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Tony Pollard, and Travis Etienne. Wide receiver room of Malik Neighbors, JSN, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, and Michael Pittman, and Mark Andrews holding it down at tight end. Pull up the board to see if anyone's doing anything too unusual. All right, well, really appreciate everyone who is tuning in this late. If you haven't liked and subscribed, I normally come on 8:30 a.m. on Monday through Friday, but this week I'm traveling, so everything's a little bit wonky here. I usually have a slightly nicer setup than this, but again, we're just making do with what we got, and did not want to go idle for too many days here in early August, because this is crunch time. This is when this is why we spend all summer in the best ball streets, is for this final push when we get all this crazy training camp news and beat reports, just all the madness. This is where it really gets kind of fun. So let's finish strong here, and hopefully we get T-Law, because if we don't get T-Law, then this team is really going to be kind of terrible. Gonna be honest. This team goes as T-Law goes. Spears, of course, would be interesting if he came all the way back to us to get Pollard and Spears. Wouldn't hate that. I think Tennessee's actually going to be kind of a fun team this year. Ramondre Judkins, I'm pretty out on Judkins right now. I mean, he's not even technically a Cleveland Brown yet. He has not signed a contract. Seems bad. Christian Kirk, I would definitely take Kirk on this team. He's been getting some great camp buzz, and his problem's always been health. He's usually very good until he suffers some kind of weird late season injury that unravels everything. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind if he comes up, but he does not. We're going to take T-Law, and then I just want to plan the next pick. Certainly fertile ground for tight end. Tank Bigsby would be very interesting. If we went Etienne and Bigsby, is that awful? Is that smart? I don't know. I mean, we could just make this just colossal Jacksonville bet potentially. Probably prefer to just double up on Spears, and then where does Cam Ward go? Because we could just take another quarterback here. This quarterback might get kind of thin. We have this guy's already taken 3, and then we have only a couple people with just one quarterback. This guy is fine with just Goff, which is interesting. And this guy only has Mahomes, so he takes Young. I almost feel like that pushes me to take Ward, but again, this is such a fall on Spears. The possibility of locking up all of the Tennessee rushing production is somewhat appealing to me. And I could probably make do with a different back stack. So let's see. If Tajay goes, then we got to choose between Ward and Bigsby there. Yeah, you know what? This is also a huge fall on Trey Harris, but the vibes on Trey Harris are pretty bad with Keenan Allen coming in and Lambert Smith kind of looking like he was eating Trey Harris's lunch. I don't know. I have a big bag of Trey Harris that now feels like a toxic mortgage position. So for the audio listeners, we've got Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne, and Tajay Spears. At running backs, we've got Spears and Pollard there. A wide receiver room of Malik Neighbors, JSN, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, Michael Pittman Jr., and Mark Andrews. I don't really mind this team. I feel like it's kind of unique. I don't build a ton of teams like this, not just because I have Etienne, but this is kind of a little bit of a wonky build. Team would feel a lot different had we gotten Mahomes back to us, and maybe it was a mistake taking Pollard instead of just locking up Mahomes there. But I did feel like running back can go kind of south on you pretty fast, and getting that depth there was something that I was interested in doing. Let's see if anyone else is doing anything too unusual. Again, I really wish that these bars said how many, like just had a number instead of just a color, where you gotta see that JSA's bar is slightly thinner than Slime Santa's purple bar, so that means he has 1 quarterback and he has 2, and then Ja King has 3. It's just, it is, if you have that on a small screen, it's or your phone, it's really hard to tell what what positions players teams have had. All right. Let's see. Cam Ward's still in the queue. That would be kind of fun. QJ. It'll be interesting if QJ falls. I don't know how people are going to play that with Allen coming in. I mean, I imagine it will make QJ a faller as well. I'd probably be happy to scoop that value on certain teams. We'll see if this is the team for it. I would like Ward. I think if I can go Ward, I can then push. Let's see, where do we pick after? At 176. 176. So let's see, what would that be? Oh man, it would be like Darnold and then emergency Aaron Rodgers, or we could potentially get a falling Aaron. So let's see. I mean, we might push it. This seems a little strange. So it might make sense for us to try to stick with Ward and T-Law and then push the second quarterback, depending on what comes around. Romeo Dobbs would be a nice click. Of course, he goes right away. Javonte, not in on Javonte, but this is a huge fall on Javonte. A beat writer came out today and was like, Javonte looks like the best running back in Dallas. And it's like everything we heard until then was that Javonte is like super washed. Miles Sanders has been hurt, so it's unclear if Jaden Blue's recent, working in with the ones is related to that or not. I think Brenton Strange would be the pick. We will just continue. Brenton Strange goes. That was a little unfortunate. He would have been a really nice addition to the tight end room and to the T-Law stack. But you know what? That's okay. Let's take Braylon Allen here, and then we can end our running back room there with 6 running backs. I feel like this is a pretty strong room. Wide receiver to me at this tier is just so darn flat. I wouldn't mind adding a Diami Brown later, or a Slayton. The guys in this range to me don't project that much different than guys in this range. Maybe Alec Pierce would have been good, and it might sort of block someone from having taken A-Rich, but A-Rich goes naked so much that I know that I might have just been stuck with Pittman and Alec Pierce unstacked. So we'll just keep on trying to build out this team. I am going to add Darnold to the queue. I think he makes the most sense. Of course, if Tua is still there, then we might have to have a different conversation. But I don't expect Tua to be there that far past ADP. Tua is a little bit difficult to super late stack. It's unclear if it's going to be Westbrook Ikeen or Malik Washington as the wide receiver 3, and that position just doesn't have a ton of value on the Dolphins anyway. But either way, I am we're building something different. Don't draft a lot of teams at this hour, so we'll just take what the room gives to us. Passing on Tua would be like Sophie's choice for you. Yes, Steve, it would be. I just have this weird feeling that he's actually gonna get to me. I don't know. Let's see. Where's the Tyreek drafter? Tyreek's here at 2. Let's see. This is where Tua needs to go. If this guy doesn't take Tua, what's going on? Oh, he already has 3 quarterbacks. He can't take Tua. I mean, he could, but that'd be terrible. Where's the Waddle draft? Oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. Waddle's next at Jada King. This guy's got to take Waddle. No, this guy has 3 quarterbacks also. Tua is totally going to come. And then we have to decide if stacking JSF is more important than taking Tua here. Interesting choice. At least if someone does take Tua, it's probably someone who didn't take Darnold instead. But man, it's hard to click Sam Darnold over Tua. that just doesn't feel quite right. Let's see. Let's see if it happens. Winding the clock. Bass stock 97. What do they do? What do they do? He takes Yoshigas, like way ahead of ADP. But this was the Burrow guy, so he felt like he had to. Oh my gosh, it's happening. Why? I'm just gonna take Tua. I'm just too much of a fish. I don't know. I just can't. I just can't ideologically take Sam Darnold ahead of Tua. Yeah, Steve says, personally unstacked Tua, 20 picks past ADP, totally worth it. Yeah, that's where I was at. I mean, if I really want to, like, justify it, I can say, oh, T-Law has a week 8 bye. Yeah, I mean, maybe, gosh, I don't take much Westbrook Akeem anymore. Is it? Let me see. Is there even a note? This is so embarrassing when you're looking for an underdog note, and there's nothing because it's a player that, like, whoever does these blurbs has never even heard of, so there's not going to be anything. Yeah, healthy for camp 11 days ago. Awesome. Yeah, I might not even force a stack. I think that this might just be like a pure advance rate, kind of play. It is hard to imagine a world where, like, you need Tua in week 17, that it's neither Waddle nor Hill nor A-Chain. I mean, it's just like Tua, who is legally not permitted to run the football anymore. If we would really like Diami Brown, if we don't get Diami Brown, then this draft has gone completely off the rails. We'll take Darius Slayton. Yes, we'll take Slayton ahead of Wan'Dale Robinson because I still have some spark of hope in life. Oh my God, this guy. Why does this guy keep taking my Jaguars? Is he looking at the wrong column? Does he think he has G-Law? I have a new enemy, and his name is Binks17. It might be Jar Jar Binks. I don't know. Hey, Fantasy Dog Pound, thanks so much for coming in. You came in a real good one where I have none of my normal streaming set up, and and I'm taking unstacked Tua. It's a tough scene here, Fantasy Dog Pound. But hey, if you guys don't subscribe to Fantasy Dog Pound, you all absolutely should. He's one of the good ones out there. Yeah, I'm cooking, chat. I think I'm cooking ramen, Terrence. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Too much of a fish for taking Tua again. No, it wasn't even. It was not a fish joke. But now I see it. Yeah, Alec Ingold. I think Alec Ingold's hurt. I think even that's then. Yeah. Thank you. Well, Kim, I'm glad you're enjoying this because I don't know why Jar Jar Binks just take all of my joy in life. Oh, I know what we can do. Darren Waller could be what we need on this team. By the way, I forgot that T-Bear is in here. T-Bear, one of the good ones here. So he opened with 4 running backs with Saquon, Chase, Jacobs, Cook, and then added Ridley, Pearsall, Godwin, Mooney, Bowers, Purdy, Ingram, Herbert, Trey, Harris, DJ. So he got the falling Chargers, and then we get Thielen and Chig. So I didn't take Ward from you. You could have taken Ward at 150, so I don't feel bad about taking Cam Ward. I would have felt kind of bad, but I didn't do it. So my conscience is clear. I think we're taking Darren Waller. Yeah. Steve says, now I'm hoping someone snipes you in Darren Waller because it's still, yeah. When you're upset about not getting Darren Waller, it's pretty good. I've been there, do what it takes to advance and join another draft. Yeah, exactly. It sucks in a BBM because I feel like every single bullet is so precious. Yeah, it's hysterical. Nothing more than getting sniped and trying to figure out why they made the pick. I don't know. Maybe they have Colts. I did not check. I'm just gonna take Waller here because I honestly don't care which of these tight ends I get here. Mason Taylor's hurt, which sucks because I love Mason Taylor. Kate Otten, I think, is actually kind of a underrated guy, and he is, of course, a Week 17 bring back to Darren Waller and Tua. That's people. That's what you need. That's what happens at 11:55 p.m. You tell yourself the Week 17 Dolphins Bucks shootout is K-Dot and Darren Waller setting tight end receiving records. All right, let's see. Now my mouse is moving slow. This is really struggles here. Yeah, I hope this is the winner too, Tim, because people would have to analyze this team and be like, there is simply no point in trying in best ball, because if this team won, then everything sucks. Now cue the ways of it's Delaware. Yeah, that's what we need here. I wish I could bring up gifts on this, or I'm sure I can. I just don't know how. We got to get you on BBO on the screen, my guy. Sign up and I'll refund you. Yes, I know. All right, Fantasy Dog Pound. I might take you up on that. I might take you up on that, because then I could get my exposures, and you could actually see that I really had no Etienne until then. Hey, Bindles, Chad. Hey, thanks so much, Bindles, for coming in. If y'all don't follow Bindles, you certainly should. But thanks. Yeah, it does look like the best ball overlay would improve my game. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get fancy. We're going to get fancy, people, and we're going to take Michael Mayer. This is the alpha you get, folks. I really like Michael Mayer this year, and I think he's one of the few tight ends with true contingent value. He's been getting a lot of really good camp speak. I think he's going to be super low owned in BBM, and of course, he is Week 17 with Malik Neighbors. So if you stuck around through this nightmare of a draft, what's more fun, taking Cade Otton in his 6.2 points a week, unless of course something happens to Evans and Godwin, which is super unlikely. Those guys never ever get hurt, and then he probably has huge contingent value. Or Michael Mayer. I don't know. I think Michael Mayer is kind of a fun thing. Epic, we'll do it live. Awesome. yeah, I could bring that up. I'll bring up. Oh God, I can't even remember his name. Yeah, it's late. He was on Fox News. Bill O'Reilly. There. Yeah, just DM me your email when you sign up. I got you. All right. Hey, Fantasy Dog Pound, awesome. Thank you so much. Dog Pound shouting out Bendels. All right, I'm gonna hop in. I'll recap the team for the audio listeners. We've got T-Law, Cam Ward, and Tua at quarterback. Derrick Henry, RJ Harvey, Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne Jr., Tajay Spears, Braylon Allen. I also forgot to add a wide receiver for Tennessee. So he's just going to dump it to Pollard and Spears a lot. We got Malik Neighbors, JSN, Xavier Worthy, Travis Hunter, Michael Pittman Jr., and Darius Slayton, and a wide tight end room of Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, and Michael Mayer. So you know what? It's unique. It's unique. We are not going to be duped. Oh my God, I clicked pickup. Let's not do that. All right, I'm going to hop into BBM. And let's just join. Let's see. So we are waiting for 11. Oh my God! All right. I'm gonna try to hop in a husky. Let me just see if a husky is gonna fill. Let's see. I'm. All right. The husky snap filled. All right. I'm gonna hop out of the BBM. Apologies. I did want to be able to draft with people, but I got impatient, and I do want to do some Huskies. Oh no, Steve, I just saw this now. I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to rug you. I did not mean to rug you, so I apologize. Terrence, thanks for the assessment. I like my team. I like yours as well. Yeah, Terrence, I really did like your team there. I like scooping some of that value in on the Chargers, because it'll be interesting to see where those guys end up, and I think they might be a little bit oversold in the immediate reaction. Now my day can start. Yes, we're gonna get a wraparound stream here. Candyman waiting on Husky. Well, I see Candyman in there. So the Husky did start. Oh, Polak. So we've got BBG in this room, and Who Hames. Oh my God, what the heck? How did I stumble into this stream room? Sorry, Steve. I was not trying to rug you. It is late, and it's pushing and doing another draft, so I didn't want to also have to wait for that. Who Hames up, fam? Hey, I see you in there. I see you, and I'm gonna take I'm gonna take the cowardly thing and just take Bijan because I'm scared of Jefferson's hamstring. But no, I'm just kind of falling with the market on Jefferson. I haven't updated these ranks in here in forever. Which chat is just pulling the rug on us. I tried to pull the rug and then I wandered into this like sharpest room ever at midnight. Like, why are you guys doing this now? I thought everyone was supposed to be like drunk and not paying attention. And then I like wander into this. Like, I just took unstacked Tua. I took 2 Titans running backs. Like, this is I'm the guy you want in your room. Oh my god. Yeah, I would. Hey, that would have been fun. That would have been fun, Pat. If you had gotten in this one, the boys. Yeah, everyone's here. Everyone's here, and I just feel bad because Steve would have been good. Steve would have been a good one in this one. Me too, Pat. Yeah, would have loved to see you in this one. Sounds like you got together with the Don't Tell Steve and his husband. Yeah, that is. I think that's what happened. There's a secret chat, and it exists only to make sure that we don't end up in a room with Steve. No, it's I do actually really like drafting with you all because honestly I pay attention to who you guys take, and I'm like, especially late in the draft, it is fun to see who like some of the some of the streamers and some of the people who put out content are taking late. I'm so tired. I saw 13 and I said, oh my god, there's 13 people in this draft. It's a glitch. They're going to cancel the draft. So I probably should be asleep. But to be fair, that's something that's actually happens on DraftKings sometimes. It has happened to me where 13 people in the draft and then it just like abruptly like stopped in the middle and then everyone got refunded. It's a weird. It hasn't happened in a while. I think it actually happened to me last year, but I don't know why I thought that was happening again. Let's see what everyone's doing. So our friend BBG, he takes Saquon there. I say friend. I don't know if BBG actually knows who I am, but I'm calling him a friend. Luham's in the 11. He takes Nico and ETJ. I love that start, especially from the 11. I mean, that is like 2 first-round receivers there. We took Bijan, and the vibe on Tyreek is in utter ruins. But I'll buy them. I'm gonna say that at the end of the day, they're not going to like not give him the ball. I'll queue up my Higgins and Garrett Wilson. I probably should have taken Higgins here because if there was ever a room where you could pull off the Burrow push, it would probably be this one. But we'll see if that's the case. All right, so he takes Trey McBride. So I'm going to take Higgins here, and so we'll start off with Bijan, Tyreek, and Higgins. I like that start quite a bit. I've definitely come around to taking the elite quarterbacks over here on the left, but I don't want to get. I'll just kind of play this one a little closer, just to standard. Although we are really seeing the elite quarterback starting to rise just a little bit. Yeah, seriously, dirty. No, Steve. Again, I apologize for that. All right, let's see. BBG is on the clock after getting Saquon and Lad. Candyman over there in the one hole. He's got Jamar Chase, Josh Jacobs, and Trey McBride. So he gets a week 17 cards Bengals stack there. When you take Jacobs, of course, you can take Lamar, and you could build that Week 17 stack, which is something that I do like doing as well. So it's just different ways to play that from the one hole. You can kind of pick your game stack there, and you do line up reasonably well if you want to take Love. Or at 72, 73, you typically can take Golden or Reed there. So you do have a lot of optionality if you want to go that direction with that Green Bay Baltimore game. It also lines up super well. All right. Hoop Game says, I was trying to get a solo late last night for a soft room, if that makes you feel any better. Yeah. I mean, it's like, if you stream, you don't want all your rooms to be stream rooms. Like, you want the Friday night room where people are just like pressing buttons mixed in there. But yeah, it is funny when I was like, I just want something to fire, and I'm like like, of course, I'm in, Candyman stream room. Um, but again, this is, I'm not normally awake at this hour, let alone streaming. Let's see. Steve says, yeah, who aims walked into Buzzsaw? Yeah, not great. BBG, he takes Omari Hampton at 29. So, I mean, that's so much better in this contest than in BBM because this is time box, so everybody's picking him. You don't have to worry about the Hampton at 44 people. Who aims? He grabs an elite quarterback there after taking Brees Hall and Jaden Daniels. So he goes the elite QB route there. Certainly like that. I feel like there's been some like drumbeat on elite QB being how you want to build this year. I feel like I'm a little lower on Daniels than I want to be. But I think I'm pretty much at market on the other three elite quarterbacks. But I do need to catch up on Daniels, especially in BBMs. All right, let's see what is coming to us. So we have Higgins. I'm going to probably try to push Burrow in this draft, as tempting as it is to take like a Hurts Devontae turn. I do like that, but I don't think that's the route I'll go in this room. Travis Hunter goes. I'll take, we'll play the hits. I'll take my guy JMO, and we'll see. I wonder if Candyman's going to double tap Hurts Devontae. I just have a feeling he will, although I don't know Hurts's Candyman's player takes if he's a big Hurts guy. But we'll see if he is. He certainly has the opportunity to do it there, or he might just take Burrow here. So he does do Hurts Devontae. Okay, that's kind of what I expected. I'll take a Ken Walker share. It sounds like Ken Walker's back in practice. I didn't just learn it from the Underdog blurb, by the way. I do have other sources other than Underdog's blurbs there. Yeah, Tim says the McDaniel quote was pretty funny. Seems like he's ready for the season to be over already. Yeah, not great. The vibe is in shambles, and the season is not. We're not even in preseason for the Dolphins. Hey, Hulk Smash Potatoes, thanks so much for hanging out. Tim says cornerbacks not going to want to tackle Derrick Henry in December. Nope, they never have, and they never will. They call it D-Hember for a reason. Who Hames? Apparently, two of my players of both my Dinger teams last week got hurt and are out. Who Hames? I only did 2 Dinger teams and actually advanced both. Some miraculously, and I think I've survived the worst of the injuries. Although I don't know if Aaron Judge is playing or not. That's how closely I follow baseball. He's on one of my teams. I know he got hurt last week or 2 weeks ago. Hopefully he's back. We'll see. I'm trying to make a magical run. Hey, Fantasy Football Guys, thanks for popping in. Thanks for the support and hanging out this late Tuesday, early Wednesday. Steve says, "Who aims that sucks? Haven't even got the chance to look at all my teams yet. See what's alive." Candyman lurking, I think. Yeah, I don't think I'm breaking any ground predicting the Hurts Devontae turn, but it is certainly something that is achievable there. I'm going to optimistically put Burrow in my queue, but we'll see if we actually get that or not. Thinking about other quarterback options, let's see. So Tua, we can actually take him stacked this time, which is pretty exciting. And JMO, of course, with Goff. Goff, though, I think from this side of the board is kind of wonky. I guess he does go here. He either goes here or he goes to the Amon-Ra drafter all the way over here. So we'll see. Devo doesn't have a quarterback yet, which is not great for our prospects of landing Goff, but we'll see if he does get if he's able to get Mahomes there at 84. Maybe he's willing to pass on Goff. We will have to see. Also, if I don't get Jared Goff, I'm not devastated. I'm just looking at all of my options. Let's see what our friends are doing. So who Hames after taking Daniels? He takes James Conner and Steph Diggs like that. That's pretty early for Steph Diggs, but Steph Diggs will not be there at 83. So I like him there. I think this is a flat tier of receiver, so that I like that pick. And of course, he's week 17 with Brees Hall. And let's see what BBG has done. So he's going slap central. He takes George Pickens, DK Metcalf, and then let's see, does he take Swift? Swift isn't gone. Let's see. I just can't remember if BBG likes Swift or hates Swift. Let's see. I'm guessing he takes Swift. I don't have the board up, so we're just going off of pure vibes. No, he takes. Oh, he likes Pearsall. That's right. He hates Jennings. So that makes sense there. All right, what is coming to us? Caleb. Yeah, Burrow unfortunately went to someone named Corn Pop. Guys, they're eating children's cereal and sniping draft picks. Good job, guy. We'll take Caleb though. That's fine. Another week 5 bye is always encouraged and appreciated. Probably wouldn't mind a Buka there. I could take Laporta and then really lean into Detroit. We will have to see. I don't really like Jerry Jeudy. There goes a Buka. Meh. This is a very uninspiring range on the board. I could also take Jaden Reed, who I don't have very much of. I'll take Laporta. We'll play the hits here. I do really like the Lions, so I don't mind that. Yeah, a little unfortunate. Of course, we weren't able to get Burrow, but you cannot expect to get Burrow on the if you push him, or if you go for the push. All right, let's see. Tim says, I haven't got a lot of Marvin Harrison. I like Adams more, and who aims to freeze. I found myself in the opposite camp a little bit. I don't know why I'm kind of betting on a Cardinals resurgence this year. I feel like the word out of Kyler's camp, it sounds like they want to run a little more, where I think if teams have to defend that threat, that might actually unlock some of the passing stuff. It sounds like MHJ is there working out. Whether the weird thing about the working out is apparently the team didn't tell him to work out. He just went and got big on his own, which is a little odd. You'd think that the team would say, hey, you got to bulk up or slim down or whatever. But he just decided to get jacked. Could be good. I don't know. We'll see. But with the Stafford news, I think you're gonna get, if you want Adams, I think you're gonna be able to get him a lot more. Of course, our friend Corn Pop here just crushing sugary cereal, frothing, with milk. Takes Patrick Mahomes in addition to Burrow. Neither of them are stacked. But you know what? When you're Corn Pop, you're just living the life. Let's see if things are going better for our friends. So Pollock, he takes Jerry Jeudy, so things aren't going better for BBG. Who Hames, he gets Higgins there. So Who Hames is he's marching to his own beat here. He's got Nico and Higgins, so he's got a really nice Houston situation going there. Let's see. And of course, Candyman took Swift and Buka. All right, so let's see. Coming back to us, we're not going to, jump up and down to take Jared Goff way ahead of ADP. We're still going to have the option to take Tua on this team. Bijan, we could potentially take him late. Mooney's been such a faller. There's always a chance that Mooney is going to come all the way to 119, and if he did, I think we could pick him up and then potentially look at back stacking Penix there. So we'll just see what the room gives to us. We're not in a position where we need to panic and force anything, or grab too many unstacked quarterbacks this round. Of course, Justin Fields being an exception. I'm always happy to take him on stack. I guess Mooney isn't going to. I thought Mooney's ADP had slipped a lot more than it had, so he will not be there. He will not be there in the next cycle. I don't know why I thought that he was going quite a bit later. And this range is kind of dog water. I'm gonna be honest. I like Cooper Kupp. We'll take a Cooper Kupp share here. Yeah, we'll take Kupp. I was looking at taking Coleman there. I think that would have been fine too. I think if Coleman is here, I would add him. Otherwise, maybe Evan Ingram, but we do need a tight end. don't love it. I'll queue up Fields. We could take an unstacked Kyler just to, be kind of a jerk. So there goes Mooney. So Candyman not worried about the injury there. Let's just take Keon Coleman. I think he's we're potentially looking at the number one receiver over there in Buffalo. He's going to continue to rise. So we'll add Coleman there to the team. So for the audio listeners, we've got 80351. We've got Bijan, Ken Walker, Caleb Johnson. We've got Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Jameson Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Keon Coleman, and Sam Laporta holding it down at tight end. Tim says, hopefully Adams has Stafford, though. Those two would be unstoppable in the red zone. Yeah. No, that would be, I'm very hopeful that Stafford is healthy. Because the NFL is so much better when there's good quarterbacks. I mean, fantasy aside, it is so bad when you have to watch, Tyler Bagent and, just bad quarterbacks and Spencer Rattler trying to run an offense. It's not enjoyable. From a fantasy perspective, it's bad too. But from just we spend our valuable time watching these games. I want to watch competent offenses. Hartman says people saw the Mooney injury. They saw the other wide receiver options around it. Yeah, the wide receiver is super grim. It is. It gets really grim. All right, so our friend BBG, he does stack Higgins with Dak. He also gets Mark Andrews. Nice stats there. Candyman, he took Mooney and Mixon, so not afraid of Mixon fall there. Who Hams? Speaking of not afraid, he takes Shaheed. I actually still like Shaheed, even if it is Rattler or whomever. I think they're gonna figure it out to one degree or another. So, as predicted, if Goff did not make it past Devo, so that kind of sucks. It looks like this guy Corn Pop ruined everything because he could not get Mahomes, so he takes his consolation prize in Jared Goff. So now I have a Lions double with a quarterback. You know what? That's just the way she goes. That's the way she goes. So we're going to look at some back stacks of naked quarterbacks. Sam Darnold yet again. Tua. This time we might actually have a reason to take Tua. So we're going to have Tua and Darnold. Aaron Rodgers. We do have Caleb. But with Ken Walker and Cooper Kupp, we must have Sam Darnold on this team, or Jalen Milroe. Probably bad. Let's see. And we get Scatabo to us at 119. I would be pretty excited if that happened. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'll queue up Tucker Craft. I do like Lovecraft. I think that's a nice bailout stack. And if I went Love and Laporta, I could potentially stop at 2 tight ends. I don't mind that. Scatabo goes. Drake May, naked. Could do that too. I could do Drake May and then take Douglas later. I might just do that if Nick Box 23 does not take Drake May, but you know what? We'll see. I could take Christian Kirk and Stroud and ruin Huham's life. I could do that, but I'm not going to because I'm not a horrible person. I will take Drake May, however. Drake May, Ramondre would be kind of interesting. Drake May, Kirk. I do really like Christian Kirk. I think he would be a nice 6th receiver, and then I could shut it down at receiver. So I think I'll queue up Kirk. Ramondre does make a certain amount of sense, but he's just such an uninspiring pick. I have so much trouble with that, but of course, we don't get the choice. Joku here, not terrible. All right, we're going to be uninspired. We'll take Ramondre after all on this team. So pulling up the board, not too bad. So I guess for the audio listeners, we've got Drake May, a quarterback, Bijan, Ken Walker, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre Stevenson, wide receiver on left, Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Jameson Williams, Cooper Kupp, Keon Coleman, and Sam Laporta. So not too bad. All right. Huhames says Shaheed has that single week upside no matter what. Yeah. completely agree. Completely agree. And he was really coming into his own as a as a good route runner and not just like a deep ball merchant there. So of course this Nick Box guy, he made the instant Lovecraft combo. I really do like this in this 10-11 round range. You can do that. Corn Pop takes CJ Stroud. Who Hames? I am sorry. I don't know why that guy did that. But he is a menace. Corn Pop is an absolute menace to this draft room, and he must be stopped at all costs. I am sorry if that was the plan you were going to go, but I mean, you know what? When you have Jaden Daniels, you can figure it out. But yeah, that's pretty disgusting because I don't think this guy has any connection to Houston whatsoever. No, he doesn't. Corn Pop is just out of control. Absolutely out of control. Yeah, 3 QBs, bro. The Sim said so. Yeah, that's what you got to do. The meta says if you don't have 3 QBs through 11 rounds, through 11 rounds, you're cooked. It's already over. Unfortunately, the only Sims I've got are in my head, and they're usually very, very inaccurate. Let's see though. Oh, gosh, I probably shouldn't have passed on Tua. Okay, he's at 151. In the ideal world, we will get Tua. Right. Then pick 178 is the ADP for Darnold. Where do we pick? Okay. We should be able to get Tua here and Darnold here. I'm going to be pretty bummed out if that does not come to pass, but then again, we have Corn Pop in the room, so anything is possible when you've got that going on. Ray Davis would be pretty nice with Ken Coleman. We could get a little more of the Buffalo offense there. I think they're week 15 with New England, if I remember right. Ray Davis does go. None of these guys are worth missing out on Tua. I don't know why Candyman would take Tua. I think Candyman knows what he's doing. But no, I think I'd take Demario Douglas because Candyman could take Demario Douglas from me. I think Candyman would scroll down and do it, but he has no Dolphins, so I don't. He has Mooney, so he's going to take Penix. It would not make any sense for him to take Tua. If he does, fair play. If he does, of course he's a Javonte drafter. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Corn Pop. I'll go back and check, but that's most undoubtedly because it just seems terrible. Also, by the way, if you can, please like and subscribe to the video. I know this is going to be one of the I don't know if this is going to be in the resume of streams, this one, but I have had a lot of fun doing this late night with you. Again, a little ASMR, little quieter than usual, but it has been fun. I think the drafts have been difficult. The last draft was a little wonky, especially for BBM, but it was, he kind of told the story, so we'll see. Drake May, so the team so far, we've got 2, 4, 6, 1. Drake May and Tua. Running back room of Bijan, Ken Walker, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre Stevenson. Wide receiver room of Tyreek Hill, T. Higgins, Jamison Williams, Cooper Kupp, Ken Coleman, and Demario Douglas, and Sam Laporta at tight end. I don't hate this team. It's a little weird, but yeah, I don't mind this at all. I do like that we were able to get Douglas with May. I think that's kind of nice. We've got Tua and Tyreek, so we don't really have to worry too much. If we get frozen out and Darnold, it's not really the end of the world. And now we can just kind of round out the rest of the team. So yes, Corn Pop did take Javonte and Hollywood Brown. So he was able to stack Mahomes with Kelsey and Hollywood Brown. So Corn Pop, the Sims are telling him to do things. He's listening to the Sims. Who Hames there? He takes A-Rich. I like that pick. He certainly, Who Hames has a ton of rushing QB firepower there, combining A-Rich with Jaden Daniels. Our friend BBG, he continues his wild draft by taking Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt at pick 149 in the 13th round. He says, these are all $1 players. I'm just going to get my guy. What if he's not there at 164? To which I say, yeah. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, if you do view these picks as all in one big terrible tier, then just get your guy. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt has been a big riser. Again, he does have Dak, so if he's thinking week 17 and that's his only bring back and he really wants to bring back, then again, what's the difference between who he gets at 164 and 149 at this point? Not too much, but it was a little jarring to see this name here for someone who's not like trying to throw the draft. All right. Let's see. We do need a couple of tight ends here. Of course, this team might come preloaded with Darren Waller. Seems bad. Let's see. Darnold here. Does Candyman have any reason to take Sam Darnold? He doesn't have any Seahawks. Seahawks play Carolina. He doesn't have any Carolina. So I think I could push Darnold if I want to. Obviously, I need some compelling reason or pick to do that. Don't really like Jalen Wright. Yeah, Pollock's taking Taj Brooks, so he's just like hoovering up the late round. He's just hoovering up the late round running backs that people like taking. I'm just gonna take Darnold here and not mess around. I do want to just end that Darnold Cup thing because I do have Walker. So again, I don't know why he would have done that, but who knows? As far as which running back I like in this range, don't take much Jalen Wright. I think I would actually prefer Dowdle or Miles Sanders to Jalen Wright, but we'll see. Rico Dowdle would be a nice week 17 thing, but again, that sometimes I think can be a little bit overdone. Although in this range, maybe this is how I want to play it. Part of me thinks I just take Miles Sanders because I think that's a little more of an upside swing than Rico Dowdle. So, you know what? We'll take Miles Sanders here. We'll take Miles Sanders, and hopefully it really just is some low-level injury that's causing some problem. Jalen Wright, though, man, I just don't like Jalen Wright. I know this is a Tua team, so if I was ever going to take Wright, it probably made sense there. But I guess maybe I just won't be taking much Jalen Wright. Pollock. So he takes Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. He takes Taj Brooks. He is very clearly, playing these slappy hits. He takes Jalen McMillan, which is kind of anti-slap. So there goes that. Candyman. He takes Jonnu and Thornton. Like both those guys quite a bit. Let's see what Houhames does. Houhames, of course, he gets Zach Ertz to pair with Jaden Daniels, so that's a nice pick for him. I will be needing to take a tight end or two late, so we'll probably take two tight ends and one more running back, and that'll do it here. That will do it here. Hartman asks, what pick would you consider slurping the Dipperino on Najee? Man, honestly, probably should have just taken him there. I mean, that is just a massive dip. But I don't know. It worried me that it seemed like he was out there doing conditioning. They had him wandering around the practice field in a weighted vest and his seeing eye dog. I don't know, man. I'm very nervous about Najee Harris. I'm very nervous because he's not an incumbent. If he was the incumbent, then I would be taking him every draft because I'd be like, this is overblown. But he's just on a short-term deal with Hampton that everyone's super excited about. They brought in Naheem Hines. They have Rocket Sanders. They have Vidal. They got a lot of dudes in that room where it's they could probably get on just fine without him. So I don't know, man. I definitely have serious nausea concerns. He was a guy that I was taking quite a bit of early in this cycle here, in both in the big board and then once he signed with the Chargers. I'm sure I have some Najee Harris teams on DraftKings like where I took him in the 60s, which is so embarrassing. But that's like where he went. It was a moment in time. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like it didn't happen. So like Dowdle's still here, which would be kind of nice. I do need two more tight ends, or could do Darren Waller again. I think in a vacuum I prefer Juwan Johnson to Darren Waller, but we'll have to see. Woody Marks though is really tempting. Oh man, Woody Marks or Rico Dowdle. We'll do Rico Dowdle. We'll do Rico Dowdle. Although I really do like. I do think it's possible that Woody Marks is really just the running back in Houston. I don't know. That's a crazy situation there. If Mixon really is like kind of dusted, we'll see. But yeah, Hartman. I guess to answer your question, what pick? Probably around where he went there. I just kind of had a little bit of take lock in Sanders there, in Sanders versus Dowdle. And of course, Dowdle comes back, which is nice. His team, Candyman, he takes a couple of our favorite rookies there. Let's see which tight end. I guess you know what? No, I'm taking Juwan Johnson. I think Juwan Johnson is so much better than Darren Waller. We'll take Juwan Johnson on this team. I'll queue up some dudes. I think I would take Mason Taylor with the last pick in the draft. I'm going to just queue up some guys here. I don't know if this is necessarily the order of dudes I want. Could do another Michael Mayer situation, although that's a little less appealing with the same bye week. But again, I don't want to not take a guy I'm in on because of a bye week. So we'll pull up the board and see what our friends are doing. So Candyman, he takes Marks and Hunter. Pollock, he takes Jalen Knoll and DJ Giddens. So, I mean, my God, best ball guy just flaying the hits at running back across Meritage Brooks and DJ Giddens. Let's see what Who Hands took Rashard Smith. Love me some Rashard Smith. Kind of a really fun click there. And then, yeah, let's see how we end. Again, thank you all so much for coming in and hanging out. I should be on at my normal time tomorrow, but again, it's all child dependent. So if it doesn't happen, maybe I'll do another late night stream tomorrow. We'll see. I know Davis is doing his marathon sub stream starting at 9. So I was thinking I might go on early to try to wrap up by then. So we'll see. It might be extra early tomorrow, but this has been fun. This has definitely been fun to draft this late. I might start mixing these in. Maybe try to do these on the weekends because I normally stream Monday to Friday. So we'll see. Again, if people don't like it, then I will not continue to do it. Who names? He takes Jack Betch. Does he take another quarterback? It'll be interesting to see because he's got A-Rich and Daniels, or does he just roll the dice with those two? Interesting choice for Who Hands. He does not. He takes Tyler Shuck there. I think that makes sense, especially if you're worried about a week 14 bye for Daniels. Odds are, A-Rich playing in week 14 seems a little 50-50. Tyler Shuck seems, more likely to be playing later in the season, even if he doesn't play early. What happened to the names, Greg? Why is he taking Jalen Milroe and Shadur Sanders? So he took Bo Nix and nobody else. He took Bo Nix and then has Milroe and Shadur. Dear God. Well, good luck to you, the name's Greg. You need Bo Nix to be really good. I don't even know, were you the Sutton guy? You took Evan Ingram. No, he is. Okay, so he's all in on Denver. So if Denver's good, he'll be okay. But if not, get ready to learn 12th place here. I know I said I'd take Mason Taylor if he's the last pick, but now that he's like kind of there, I'm getting a little nervous. All right, Mason Taylor, guys, thank you for taking Mason Taylor, so I don't have to make that decision on stream. Roshan Johnson goes. I don't think there's any reason to not take a third tight end here. We'll take Darren Waller. It says he's going to be ready for week 1, so you know what? Let's do it. So to recap the team, we've got a 3-6-6-3. We got Drake May, Tua, and Darnold. Running back room of Bijan, Ken Walker, Caleb Johnson, Ramondre, Miles Sanders, and Rico Dowdle. Wide receiver room of Tyreek, T. Higgins, Jameson Williams, Cooper Kupp, Keon Coleman, Demario Douglas, and a tight end room of Laporta, Juwan Johnson, Darren Waller. Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Who Hames had a ton of fun drafting with you. Hartman, thank you as always for the support. And yeah, I'll see you all in the morning, hopefully. But if not, then I'll probably see you all tomorrow night. Take care, everyone.